Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is a natural eyebrow routine if you have thin or sparse brows, or if you're trying to even out brows that don't quite match each other. I think a lot of us have this kind of issue. I know I do. I have already filled in my brows. They may not be perfect, but brows are sisters, not twins, or cousins, not sisters, however you want to put that. So if you want to see how to create a natural brow look, if you have any of these kinds of issues, just keep watching. You guys requested this video in my last video, my 10 Summer Beauty Essentials, when I used this brow pen to create a natural looking brow. Well, I actually didn't do the demo in that video, but I asked if you wanted to see it. I talked about the Stilo Stay All Day Waterproof Brow Color in that video because it is a summer beauty essential for me because it is sweat proof and waterproof, but it's really a year-round product for me because it does work so well to really mimic a brow hair. I just like to create a brow that kind of mimics what my natural brows might look like if they hadn't become so sparse over time or patchy. One doesn't quite match the other. I have less brow hairs on this side than I do over here. And so I try to kind of make them match somewhat. My brows are never gonna be perfect. I'm gonna walk you through what I do to get the natural looking brows. This pen is what I've been using for a long while now. Every time you guys ask me what I've been doing in my brows because you've been liking them lately, this is the product that I've been using. If you have sparse or thinning brows, or you really just are trying to mimic a natural brow look, you really do need something that's gonna give you that fine, precise line, as opposed to more of a shadowy line like a pencil or a pomade or a powder is going to create. And these will give you that. I'm going to show you how I work with my natural brow shape and my natural brow hairs to create a realistic, more natural looking brow on an everyday basis. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and we can get started with my routine. I know MAC has recently come out with a brow pen as well. I'm not sure if that's waterproof or not. I'm going to link both of these down below. I would like to try the MAC product. I just haven't yet. This is just the one that I use. I think the MAC one has a really, really fine tip too, and I've seen some people use that as well. So this is medium, light ash, and light as far as shades go. And that's why I have 3 shades, because I was trying to figure out if I needed the light or the light ash for my second shade. And swatched on the hand, we have medium, light ash, and light. It's really hard to tell on the back of the hand the difference in the shades, but that does show more when you apply them to the brow. For some reason, the skin behind the brow is just different than it is on the back of our hand. The colors read much different on the brow. Aside from the brow pen, the other product that I use for this method is a spoolie. Any kind of spoolie that you like will do. I use the one that's attached to the Anastasia 7B angled brow brush. That's just the one that I reach for. So other than that, that's what I'm using, and we can get started on the brows. I don't have perfect brows. They are a little bit sparse in the front. They have some gaps. This brow has more brow hair than this brow. I try to even them out. I try to do as best as I can with them. I always go in with the lighter shade. I'm gonna go with light ash today first, and that is this shade right here. The first thing that I do is comb through my brows and get them in the general direction that they will be laying. Now you'll see some brow hairs are a little bit longer than others. I don't always have time to make sure every brow hair is the proper length. I'm usually trying to get myself out the door in the morning, and I just deal with what I've got. And that's what I'm doing here today. This is not about perfection. This is about getting things done. So I'm just going to fill in where I feel like there are gaps and kind of go with my natural brow shape, fill them in, and just get them the general shape that I want. So that's what I'm doing with this lighter shade. I'm not gonna do that line across the bottom because naturally we don't have a line across the bottom. You do see that in a lot of tutorials. I'm going with how the natural hairs would grow because I want this to look like it's natural brow hairs. So I'm just going to actually start drawing in some little hairs. And because this is the lighter shade, you might not even really be able to see them at first. And that's why we're gonna go in with the darker shade after, but I don't want it to look too harsh. If you naturally have darker brows, you may be able to get away with one shade because I do have some lightness in my hair and I'm just a little bit lighter. Dark looks a little harsh on me sometimes, so I tend to go light and then fill in with the dark. So I'm just giving myself some brow hairs. And the key is to use a super light hand. You almost don't even want to feel it. You want to use feather-like strokes. The other thing that I like to note is to not put the strokes too close together, because then it won't look like hairs. And you always want to start with the base of the hair. So this pen is kind of almost looking like a shadow, and now I'm taking my spoolie and just giving it a more natural look. So now I'm going in with the darker shade, and I'm doing that same thing, but a little more sporadic. And I'm making doubly sure I use a light hand with this darker shade. And I'm not as scared to go in darker at the tail of the brow. So I went a little heavy right there. I'm taking my spoolie almost immediately, and that pretty much remedied it right there. It sometimes helps to make sure you have your elbow balanced on a table. I can't always do that though, so that's when that kind of happens. So when I think it's about where I want it, it may or may not be perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and take some kind of a brow mascara and just go ahead and set that, and it just kind of blends it in, makes it look a little bit more natural, and sets the brows. So I'm gonna even them out. Clearly there's a difference between this one and this one. I used light ash and medium on this one, and I'm gonna use light and medium on this one just to show you the difference in using a different lighter shade. I always use medium because that's a pretty good match for my dark shade. So I'm just gonna kind of fly through this one a little bit just to even it out and speed it up a little bit. I'm just softening this one with a clean shadow brush, and I'm gonna go in with my brow mascara just like I did before. I think I said earlier, brows are sisters, not twins, or cousins, not sisters, however you want to word it. But it does give you a more natural hair-like brow look than a lot of the pencils and pomades and powders do. It just more mimics the natural brow hair, and it stays on the face through sweat, through water. I really like this product. I really like the way it looks, and you know, it's not going to come out perfect every day because I'm not a perfect person, but for the most part, I really like the way this looks. If you have not seen my 10 Summer Beauty Essentials video or my 10 Spring Essentials video, I'm gonna have both of those linked. If you are not subscribed to this channel yet, please hit that subscribe button and become a part of the family. I would love to have you here all the time with me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.